It was one of those quiet nights where silence felt heavier than usual. The kind of night where the walls seem to breathe, and every creak in the house sounds like a whisper. A girl named Lena sat on the couch scrolling through her phone, her dog Rook lying by her feet. He wasn't a small dog, part shepherd, part something else, the kind of animal that never barked without reason. Her parents had left earlier that day to visit family a few towns over. She wasn't worried. She'd stayed alone before. But tonight, Rook was acting strange. His ears twitched at sounds she couldn't hear. Every now and then, he'd lift his head and let out a low, warning growl toward the front door. At first, she brushed it off. Maybe raccoons outside, maybe just the wind. But then, around midnight, the power flickered. Once, twice, then went out completely. Silence. Lena stood up, phone light cutting through the darkness. "It's just a storm," she whispered, even though she knew there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Then came the sound. A slow, steady tap. Tap. Tap against the glass of the front window. Rook rose to his feet, muscles tightening. The low rumble in his chest turned into a deep growl that vibrated through the floor. Lena froze, the phone trembling in her hand. The tapping stopped. Then, boom! The front door exploded inward. Wood splintered. Two men in dark clothes burst in, shouting over each other. One held a flashlight, the other a gun. Lena screamed and stumbled back, falling against the couch. Rook barked. Not the kind of bark meant to scare, but the kind that comes right before something bad happens. "Grab the girl," one of them yelled. The man with the gun stepped forward. But Rook was faster. He lunged, slamming into the guy's leg, teeth sinking deep. The man screamed, firing wildly into the ceiling. "Get the dog," the other shouted, kicking Rook in the ribs. But the dog didn't yelp. He didn't even move. He turned his head, eyes glowing faintly, like something alive in the dark that wasn't supposed to be. Lena could only watch, frozen between terror and disbelief. Rook's body began to shift, bones cracking, muscles expanding beneath his fur. His growl deepened into something not of this world. His front paws stretched, claws lengthening into hands. Still covered in coarse fur. Still animal, but terrifyingly human. One of the men dropped his flashlight, backing toward the door. "What the hell is that thing?" Rook stood upright, half dog, half man. Eyes burning, teeth bared. His snarl filled the room, echoing off the walls. The first man raised his gun again, but Rook was already moving. He grabbed the man's arm, twisted, snap! The sound was sharp and wet. The gun clattered to the floor. The intruder screamed, falling to his knees. The second one swung a metal flashlight, catching Rook across the jaw. It didn't even slow him down. Rook grabbed him by the throat and slammed him against the wall so hard, the picture frames crashed down. The man gasped for air, kicking, clawing. But Rook didn't let go. Lena screamed, "Stop! Rook, stop!" For a second, Rook turned toward her, eyes softening just enough for her to see something familiar in them. The beast was still her dog, still protecting her. Then the other intruder, the one with the broken arm, reached for the gun again. A mistake. Rook turned, pounced, and in one motion ended the fight. The room fell silent again, except for Lena's ragged breathing and the faint hum of a distant streetlight outside. The girl stood there shaking, staring at what was left of her front door, her floor, her safety. Rook stood in the middle of it all, chest rising, falling, covered in shadow. His breathing slowed. The fur on his arms seemed to melt away, muscles shrinking, bones reshaping until he dropped back down to all fours. In a blink, he was just Rook again. Her dog, quiet, loyal, sitting there with his tail still, head tilted, like nothing had happened. Police sirens never came. No one called them. Lena walked over to Rook, knelt beside him, and put her arms around his neck. He pressed his head against her chest, warm and steady. She looked at the bodies, at the destroyed door, and whispered, "No one would ever believe this." By morning, she'd cleaned what she could. The blood, the broken wood, the signs of struggle. She told her parents someone tried to break in but ran off when the alarm scared them. No one asked questions. No one noticed anything strange about the dog sleeping peacefully at her feet. But from that night on, whenever Lena walked through the house after dark, Rook was always one step ahead, watching the shadows, listening to things no one else could hear. And she never told a soul what really happened. Because deep down, she knew, the moment anyone found out what Rook really was, they wouldn't come to thank him. They'd come to take him away.